and welcome to this GCSE Spanish revision video. My name is Aaron and I am a Year 11 GCSE student as well as an entrepreneur on the side. Together we are going to be going through this speaking past paper for the WJEC exam board from the year of 2018. I have also included my own questions in here just because, well, see this as a kind of a mock. But also I don't have the available teacher resources on me because I need a login, but I don't have that. But we are just going to get started. So the first few things we're going to need is obviously something to write with, black pen. Always recommend black because black always photocopies better. That's why they say somewhere, not on this one, but on the writing, that's why they always say to write in black ink. Highlighter. Not necessary for your exam, just necessary for me because I obviously want to highlight different things to you guys. And you will always get given a piece of paper, lined paper, so you can make your notes. And we're going to talk a little bit about how to make effective notes as well. So, let's actually just get right into it. And the first part of the Spanish exam is always the role play. So the role play basically just sort of follows the, if I can zoom in. The role play is exactly as it is. You are speaking to your Spanish teacher who is usually playing the character of a Spanish friend or whatever. And we've got to answer the questions. Now, for the WJC exam board, there are always 3 marks per bullet point that you have. So there'll be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So there are 15 marks available. If I can write that up here. There are 15 marks available for the roleplay. And the roleplay is the easiest one to get full marks in, because you say what the question's asking you and you shut up. You don't need to say anything else. So let's go through it and sort of highlight the keywords that we're going to be needing. So the first thing is environmental. So instantly we know that this roleplay is going to be about el medio ambiente, which is the environment in Spanish. And then problems we know is problemas. And the typical question that you're going to get asked, so this is the teacher that's going to ask you this, they would ask, ¿Qué opinas de los problemas del medio ambiente? So all that's asking you is your opinion about environmental problems. Again, you just say what you want, say what the question is asking you, and you shut up. So I could say something along the lines of creo que, which means I believe, es un problema interesante. I don't know why it would be, but some people find environmental issues interesting. And that's it. That would get me my full 3 marks. Now, this part here is always a surprise question, so you don't know what the question is. It could be at the beginning, it could be in the middle, it could be at the end. But it's important that we remember our question words. So, we've got como, which is usually how. We've got que, which is what. Quién, which is who. Donde, which is where. Cuándo, or cuánto, which usually means how much. And then I think those are all the. Cuándo means when, and cuánto with a T is how much. So, for this particular question, for this particular bullet point, the question is, ¿Cómo podemos reducir la contaminación? So, we had the word podemos, and we know that from Spanish grammar, anything that ends in emos or mos must be we. And the pod, I'm thinking of the word podría, so could, and it was como, so that could be how could we reduce pollution. So, again, something really, really simple, doesn't have to be a long answer. I could say deberíamos, which means we should. Reciclar, and then el vidrio, which is glass. I could have said something like ajorar al agua, or ajorar el agua, or I don't know, apagar los luces, turning off the lights, saving water. Something as simple that will also get you the 3 marks. Simple, done. Now, the next question is, say what you did last week to protect the environment. So, because this is in the past tense, we are either going to be conjugating the verbs to say that we did it in the past, or are we going to use solia? Now, I would always use solia if you want to make sure that you definitely get the marks, because conjugating a verb on the spot can be tricky. So, solia plus an infinitive. So, an infinitive is a verb that ends in AR, ER, or IR. In English, a verb that can have to in front of it, to jump, to skip, to run, to do whatever. I could use solia, but that's more so like I used to, so I used to do something. Because it's saying last week, I think, yeah, because it's saying last week, I could actually manipulate the question. So the question is, because you can always ask the teacher to repeat it, repita por favor, you can say, ¿Qué hiciste la semana pasada para proteger el medio ambiente? So, I can say la semana pasada, and then this is where I can conjugate the verb. So, let's say I want to, again, reciclar, really simple verb, reciclar. To say I recycled, so that's going to be the, I think it's the imperfect tense. I'm going to chop off the AR, and to say I recycled, reciclé, because that's the conjugation for the AR tense. So I can say, la semana pasada reciclé, if I can spell, reciclé el papel. I recycle paper. Now, this part here, also 3 marks. This part here, the question, again, it's really important that you know your question words, but you have to be careful, because if you don't ask the question directly, they can't give you the marks. So I can manipulate the question, and if the question makes sense and the teacher understands what you're saying, or the examiner understands what you're saying, then you should get the marks. But this question is asking us to ask our friend what they will do in the future to help. So I could say something along the lines of, because I don't know what would be is in Spanish. So I can say, en el futuro, ¿qué te gustaría hacer para ayudar el medio ambiente? A bit longer than what I would recommend usually, but if I want to ensure those marks, it's the easiest way to do it. So I've said, in the future, what would you like to do to help the environment? Simple, full 3 marks. And then here, you can basically, again, say whatever you want. Again, I would probably use something like me gustaría, because that's the future. Me gustaría apagar los luces. And that would have been your full 15 marks done. Right. Now, we're moving on to the photocard description. The photocard description is personally my favourite, because there's so many things that you can talk about. And I'm actually going to switch over to my notepad. So you've got the, if I zoom out, there you go. You've got the photo here, and then you've got a notepad here. Now, let's just start jotting down just some general things that we can actually see. So, puedo ver, which means I can see in Spanish. Puedo ver el transporte público. We can see muchas cosas, many things. Una mujer, which is a woman. It could be a big city. So, una ciudad grande. There seem to be a lot of shops here. So we can say los tiendas. It could be a square. Oh, could it be a square? No, I don't think it could be. We'll just stick to Los Tiendas. We can also see cars, so coches, los coches. And I'm just gonna, to like sum it all up, I'm gonna say edificios, which is buildings. So, and these could be offices. So, now that I've got basic vocabulary, I sort of want to think about sentence starters, so I can use que yo sepa, which is really good because it's linguistic ability, so it's using idiomatic phrases, but also you're getting in a bit of different tenses in there. I can use diría que, which is another really good one to use all the time, which means I would say that. A mi modo de ver, we won't go too many, we'll do 4. And then we'll do, we'll end it with, creo que es una foto, no obstante, no creo que sea something, situación. And that, all that means is, and again, because you're using the word sea here, you're using the subjunctive, so you're going to get a lot of marks if you say this. All this means is, I think that it's a something photo, but I don't think it's a something situation. So we can actually start forming the answer, and I'm going to do it with you. This is what I would personally say. Okay. Let's see. We've got, a mi modo de ver, en la foto hay muchas cosas. So what I've said there is from my point of view. In the photo, there are many things. Por ejemplo, diría que puedo ver el transporte público, dado que hay un autobús. Y además, diría que hay muchas personas. Por ejemplo, puedo ver una mujer. Y además, podría ser una ciudad muy grande. So I've said that it could be a big city. I could also say something like, no obstante, en la foto hay los tiendas, so the shops. Y what else have I said? Y detrás de autobús, so behind the bus, puedo ver los edificios y podrían ser los oficinas, so they could be offices. Creo que es una foto interesante, no obstante, no creo que sea una situación inusual. So what I've said there is, I think it's an interesting photo, but I don't think it's an unusual situation, and that would have been really good. Now, this question here, so we're going to look at the questions now for the role play, not the role play, the photo card. Oops. There you go. So we're talking about this one and this part here. Now, the second part, you don't know what the questions are, only the teacher does, but we can form answers for this part. So, let me... So, I can look at this. So, ¿cuáles son las desventajas de usar el transporte público? What that's asking us is, what are the disadvantages of using public transport? Move that out of the way. So, we want to start combining a sort of a word bank of things that could be wrong with public transport. Let me just move this out of the way, actually. So, just, that's there. Right, what's wrong with public transport? It's expensive. It's not fast. It can cost an arm and a leg. It's I'm going to say it's dangerous. And then personally, you could say that people annoy me, which is a really good phrase to use because it's idiomatic. Okay, now we want impressive vocabulary, impressive starters that we could use. So we can use siempre me ha gustado or siempre pensado que. We can use que yo sepa again. I'm just writing the symbols for each of the words that are coming up. We can also use originalmente hubiera dicho que. No obstante, ahora diría que. So, let me start to form a sentence with you guys. So I can say, siempre he pensado que el transporte público, so I'm multiplying, I'm manipulating the question. Siempre he pensado que el transporte público es muy caro y mi madre dice que, my mum says, podría costar un ojo de la cara. Además, que yo sepa, no es rápido y, para ser honesto contigo, so if I'm honest with you, la gente me molesta. So, what I've said is, I've always thought that public transport is expensive and it can cost an arm and a leg. My mum says, that my mum says that it can cost an arm and a leg. Also, to be honest with you, people annoy me or people get on my nerves. And then let me finish it off with dangerous. I can say originalmente hubiera dicho que el transporte público es relajarse, es relaxing. I don't know why. No obstante, ahora diría que el transporte público podría ser peligroso. And that's done. Now, two more questions that I can have I potentially have to answer. So, the first question is, ¿es importante usar el transporte público? So what that's asking us is it important to use public transport? And again, your opinions don't have to stay the same all the way throughout. You can lie. You can have one opinion the first minute, and then the next, it could be different. So, I'm going to say public transport is cheap. It's, I don't know, it's a good way to relax. It's fun. It's an opportunity to save money. It's a good one. And I'm just going to use the same vocabulary that I used for this one as well. Save money, and it can be fast. Okay. Siempre me ha gustado el transporte público. I've always liked public transport. Dado que siempre he pensado que es barato y ofrece la oportunidad de ahorrar el dinero. It offers the opportunity to save money. Además, si tuviera mencionar algo más, if I had to mention something else, diría que es muy divertido para los jóvenes. It's fun for young children or young kids. Y ofrece la oportunidad de relajarse y podría ser rápido. It could be fast. That's the question done. Next. ¿Te gustaría vivir en un mundo sin coches? So, would you like to live in a world without cars? Now, what could I say about cars? Cars are dangerous. They pollute. They are expensive. They are a waste of time. But, I'm going to say but, Everyone knows they are useful. I sometimes switch between Spanish and English when I'm making my notes. Okay, we can start from the answer for this now. So, siempre he pensado que los coches son peligrosos. Don't forget, it's plural, so we're changing it to osos. Dado que contaminan, so they contaminate or they pollute. Además, diría que son muy caros y mi madre dice que son una pérdida de tiempo. They're a waste of time. No obstante, nadie ignora que, so everyone knows that, nadie ignora que son útiles. They are useful. And then I'm going to add in a future as well, because I haven't done future yet. So, si tuviera el dinero, me encantaría comprar. Me encantaría comprar un coche ecológicos. So I don't know if that actually makes sense, but more like an economy-friendly car. So like electric cars, I suppose you could call them. And that is the conversation section done. No, not the conversation, sorry. The photo card. Okay, let me just put that on, put it to the back. Oh, dogs are going crazy. Sorry about that. Now, we're on the last section. And again, please don't be stupid when you are doing this, because choose the easiest ones. So out of this, holidays is the easiest, and you could argue with the second one, but I just find food and drink the easiest as well. Now, a little bit of self-promotion, but if you visit my website down below, what I've done is I've actually pulled A-star response questions that I wrote myself from my assessments and like end of unit exams and stuff, and I've compiled them into little booklets. You zoom out. Oops. Yeah, I've compiled them into little booklets. So for the first one, you've got holidays and tourism. I will not be using these, by the way, just so you know. You've got holidays and tourism, and then you've got food and drink. I'm just going to show you what they look like on the inside to begin with. So actually, we'll go for food and drink because that one looks nicer. So you've got the cover, obviously. Then you've got some contact information, how you can use them, and then you've just got like different questions that you can analyse. I've got 10 minutes left, so I won't blabber on for much. You've got different questions that you can analyse, so you have to find past, present, opinion, future. Again, different pages. Obviously, they all have different amount of questions, but they're just really useful if you are looking for a revision tool to help you. So, let's get on with the questions. So, holidays. I'm only going to do one question because, as I said, I'm running out of time. But, for holidays, the one question I'm going to do is, ¿A dónde fuiste de vacaciones el año pasado? So, where did I go on holiday last year? You can say Greece. Always liked Greece. Had a great time. If I had money, I'd like to do it again. Just because you've used past tense, present tense, and then future tense. Okay, let's start forming it. So, el año pasado fuimos a Grecia, dado que siempre me ha gustado Grecia y la cultura de Grecia, so I've always liked Greece and the culture. Y lo pasé bomba, we had a great time. Jugué, I can actually add in a little bit there, so I jugué fútbol con mis primos, with my cousins, y lo pasé bomba. Si tuviera el dinero, me gustaría hacerlo otra vez. No obstante, en este momento diría que no es posible, dado que I'll use puesto que actually, because I've used dado que a lot. Puesto que podría costar un ojo de la cara. It can cost an arm and leg. That's done. That's easy, finished. you've got your future, your present, and all that stuff. Right, the question for food and drink we can use is food and drink. What's the question? We can say ¿Qué comes normalmente? So what do you eat normally? So I can use healthy food. I can say always liked healthy food. It's a good way of expressing yourself. I can also say that I don't know, what else can I say? I can say that it offers the opportunity to be good for your health, because it is good for your health. And then I can start forming it. Again, with the booklets that I've made, obviously, like I said, I'm not reading them, but there are like a variety of different answers that you could use if you're like using them. And also, if you do have any questions, I've got my email on there. So if you wanted to email me with any questions that you had, you could. So let's start forming it. So we could say, I was supposed to make notes, but I didn't. I just made them on the page directly, which you won't be allowed to do on the exam, but you will be allowed to do it on the paper. So I can say, siempre me ha gustado la comida sana, dado que es una buena oportunidad de... Sorry, I could say, podría ser buena para la salud, so it could be good for your health. Y además diría que es una buena manera de expresarse. And then maybe I could throw in something about cooking, so I could say, siempre me ha gustado cocinar, dado que ofrece la oportunidad de experimentar algo distinto, algo nueva. So algo nueva just means something new. And then I can throw in a negative. No obstante, mi madre dice que cocinar podría ser peligroso. So cooking could be dangerous, because it can. Okay, so that was the basic sort of run through of an exam, what a typical exam paper for the WJC would look like. This says 2018, but you won't be able to find the one that I've got here because I kind of pulled different questions from different papers. Like, you'll notice that the sets don't match, so you've got set 3 here, set 2 here, and then set 9 there. So, yeah. Like I said, the booklets that I made, because I am in the process of making more. Currently, I've got, I think, 4 up. I've got entertainment and leisure. I've got food and drink. I've got holidays and tourism, and there's one more, technology and social media. And then I will obviously be adding more onto it as the year goes on and as I create more and more of them. So I hope you found it useful. If you have, please let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments or send me an email. Again, you can find my email in the description box, or you can send me a message on Instagram, whichever one works for you. I hope you have a fantastic day, and until next time, look after yourselves, and I'll catch you in the next one.